Have you ever wondered how everyday people, not millionaires, not celebrities, not trust fund babies, go from having absolutely nothing to owning their first property? What if I told you that real estate has quietly created more millionaires than almost any other investment class, and the barrier to entry is not as high as you might think? Stick with me, because in this video we'll break down, step by step, how you can go from zero to owning your first property, even if you're starting small. Part 1. Why real estate? Real estate isn't just about buildings. It's about cash flow, leverage, appreciation, and most importantly, financial freedom. Think about it. A house bought decades ago for $50,000 might now be worth $500,000. Along the way, tenants could have paid down the mortgage while the owner reaped steady rental income. Here's a question for you. If you could build an asset that pays you monthly, grows in value over time, and can be passed down to your children, why wouldn't you? Part 2. The myths holding people back. Most beginners believe real estate is only for the rich. I need huge savings. I need perfect credit. I need connections. But here's the truth. Many first-time investors start with little. Some use FHA loans, some use house hacking strategies, and others even partner with friends or family. Let me tell you a story. A young man in his 20s saved up just enough for a down payment on a duplex. He lived in one unit, rented out the other, and his tenant's rent covered most of his mortgage. Within a few years, he had enough equity to buy another property. That's how the snowball begins. So ask yourself, what's really stopping you, the money or the mindset? Part 3. Understanding the basics. Before buying your first property, you need to understand the foundations. A cash flow, the rent you receive minus expenses like mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Appreciation, the increase in value of your property over time. A leverage, using borrowed money to buy an asset. Equity, the difference between what your property is worth and what you owe. Here's a simple thought. If someone else is paying down your loan while your property grows in value, isn't that a double win? Part 4. How to get started with little money. So how can you buy real estate if you don't have much money? 1. House hacking, buy a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. Live in one unit, rent the others. 2. FHA or VA loans, government-backed loans with low down payments. 3. Partnerships, team up with someone who has money while you do the legwork. 4. Creative financing, seller financing, lease options, or even wholesaling deals. The key is resourcefulness. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" ask, "How can I afford this?" Part 5. Choosing the right market. Not all markets are equal. Some areas are overpriced and risky, others are undervalued and full of opportunity. Look for a strong job growth, a population increases, affordable housing relative to incomes, a landlord-friendly laws. Remember, you're not just buying a house. You're buying into an economy. So let me ask you, would you rather buy the nicest house in a struggling town or a modest home in a booming city? Part 6. Running the numbers. Too many beginners buy with emotion instead of math. But in real estate, numbers don't lie. You'll want to calculate a cap rate, net operating income divided by property price, a cash-on-cash return, annual cash flow divided by total cash invested, a rent-to-value ratio, monthly rent divided by property value. Story time. I once met an investor who fell in love with a beautiful house, but it barely broke even on rent. A few years later, he admitted it was the worst decision he ever made. On the flip side, another investor bought a plain, boring property in a strong rental market. It wasn't flashy, but it pumped out reliable cash flow for years. So, ask yourself, are you chasing status, or are you chasing freedom? Part 7. Managing your property. Once you own a property, the real work begins. A screening tenants properly. A keeping up with maintenance. A setting aside reserves for unexpected repairs. Some investors choose to manage themselves to save money, while others hire property managers to free up time. The real question is, would you rather trade a little money for more freedom or trade more of your time to save money? Part 8. The long-term game. Real estate is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slow plan. Over 5, 10, or 20 years, Your properties will build equity, rents will rise, and your net worth will grow almost automatically. Imagine this. You buy one property every 2 years for the next 10 years. That's 5 properties. Each bringing in cash flow, each growing in value. By the time you look up, you're sitting on an empire you never thought possible. So, here's a challenge. Where do you see yourself in 10 years if you start today? And where will you be if you don't? Let's conclude. Real estate isn't just about buildings. It's about building freedom, security, and legacy. You don't need to be rich to start, you just need to start smart. If this video opened your eyes to the possibilities, then let me ask, do you want me to create a full breakdown video on how to buy your first rental property step by step? Drop a comment below if that's a yes. And if you're ready to keep learning, my next video will walk you through Dividend Stocks Explained. Earn money while you sleep. Make sure you don't miss it.